I'm Amy, and I'm your nonfiction feminist. Forgive me for the hair, and the comfort, and the blankets, and the absence of the bookshelf behind me. I have my second cold in 3 weeks. Don't try this at home, kids. This is not the video that I was planning on doing, but I tried shooting the video that I planned on doing yesterday and didn't turn out so well, being sick and all, so we're gonna keep it simple today, and I'm just gonna go through a Halloween TBR, or an October TBR. I've been really looking forward to this, and I have a surprising amount of slightly creepy classics. So, yeah, let's get started with this fairly unreasonably sized pile. So we have The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Writings by Washington Irving. In looking through the contents of this, it took me a couple of minutes to find Sleepy Hollow. There's like a lot of writings in this. When it says Sleepy Hollow and Other Writings, like, Sleepy Hollow is 29 pages out of 466. So, this is definitely one I think I'm gonna do, like, if I do a couple stories a day, I should be able to get through this fairly easily. So, I've never actually read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I've only seen the various movies. Next up, we have the incomparable Caitlin Doughty. This is my second Caitlin Doughty. I've already read Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Hopefully later this year, early next year, I can get Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs. This is From Here to Eternity, Traveling the World to Find the Good Death. I actually, whenever I was doing my book club, someone was reading this, and it sounded really interesting, and that's when I first started looking her up and finding her books, so thanks to that friend. This one, she's just like, I think, traveling around to other countries and learning their death rituals and stuff, so yeah, I'm excited for this. Also, this cover, she's very good at what she does. Next up, I actually started this on September 30th, or maybe it was September 29th. But it's my channel, so I'm going to read what I want when I want. It's still counting as October reading because I'm not actually done with it yet. Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. Am I going to have to, like, keep readjusting my blur? Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I'm really enjoying this, but I don't even know how to explain it. I don't like most of the characters in this book. I am especially not really enjoying the main character because she's incredibly naive and unfortunately reminds me a lot of myself. But that's not to say that I'm not enjoying the book, because I am really enjoying the book, and Jane Austen is a funny, funny woman, and great at satire, and would highly recommend this. That said, I do think that the title and the premise are a little misleading. It's called Northanger Abbey. It's about a girl who's obsessed with Gothic novels and makes all these assumptions whenever she goes to visit Northanger Abbey. But I am almost done with this, and I was more than halfway through the book before the subject of Northanger Abbey even came up. So really, I would say that, as usual with Jane Austen, it is, or at least as usual with the Jane Austens that I've read, it's largely a romance that happens to center on, yes, a girl who is very obsessed with reading Gothic novels and is in search of something Gothic to encounter in real life. Northanger Abbey itself is not a huge part of this book, but I am really, really enjoying it. I'm almost done with it. It's a fairly short read as compared to a lot of these books. Let's see. not actually that cold in here, but I got the heated blanket and the fireplace on, which hopefully the fireplace sound isn't bothering the microphone too much. I don't know how to turn the noise off. But I just like being super cuddly, especially when I'm not feeling so hot. Anyways, next up, Dracula, one of my favorite books in the world. This is going to be like probably my last book of the month because I have reread it so many times. That said, I am always eager to read it again. I think it could be a fairly quick reread since I've reread it so many times. It'll be a little more of a skim read, but this is yet another one of my copies. I am hoping, I might actually get to this earlier in the month so I can do a better review of it, but I'm hoping to review this at the end of the month as well as finally show you all of the editions that I have of this book. This is actually probably one of my favorite covers. I tend to really like the Barnes & Noble covers just with the colors and the photos and stuff. I will say in reading Northanger Abbey that whenever you look at the notes in the back, like it'll have a phrase that maybe you're not familiar with and it'll put the little number next to it and then you look up the chapter and the number. It is a little spoilery to look those up, but that's actually fine for me because I'm not hugely disappointed by spoilers. Like, it is only recently that I have not been actively looking for spoilers because I tend to spoil a lot of stuff for myself. But just a heads up, if you look at the notes in the back of the Barnes Noble editions, you will probably be a little spoiled for the future of the book that you're reading. Next up, this is not a read that I picked out until like 2 days ago because it caught my eye. And for some reason I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna read that. I don't know if I'll actually read it, but I've got Dante's Inferno here. This is the Penguin Classics edition. We have Purgatory and Paradise as well. So maybe this is what I'll actually get to this month. I don't know. maybe not. I have actually been wanting to read this for a while, but I also know it's more of like a poem setup, so I'm not sure how well I'll do. But props to me for wanting to give it a try. Then we have, as I've mentioned several times on this channel, I am finally getting around to the Ring trilogy. First book I've already read several years ago. I got the next two whenever I learned it was a series recently. I do have a couple of issues with this first book, which I will explain when I do a review of them, which I am planning on doing later this month. But I still really enjoyed them. Also, these stripy, awesome covers just make me really happy to look at. This is by Koji Suzuki. He is a Japanese author. My husband studied Japanese in college, like culture and language and history. And The Ring was one of the books that he had to read. Or not The Ring. Ring. The book is the movie is The Ring, but the book is just Ring. I think this is actually really the first horror that I ever read. It got me interested in horror. So, yeah, I'm excited. Next up on this slightly ridiculous list of mine, The Turn of the Screw, The Aspen Papers, and Two Stories by Henry James. I have tried reading Henry James once before. I started Portrait of a Lady, and I was keeping up with it on like SparkNotes or Wikipedia or something just to make sure that I was understanding it. Like, he's fairly simple to read, but some of his writing I'm like, I want to double check that I've got the right interpretation of this. And I spoiled the ending for myself. So I put the book back on the shelf and decided not to read it until it thought about what it did and came back to me with a different ending. But I am excited to try him again. I will eventually actually read The Portrait of a Lady, but I'm still kind of angry at it. But I am looking forward to reading this. I hear a lot about The Turn of the Screw, so hopefully I end up getting some creepy vibes and really enjoy it. Lastly is The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. This will actually end up being a buddy read with one of my subscribers at some point this month, whenever I decide to get to it, so that was a nice surprise. This is my second Wilkie Collins. I don't actually know how many books he's written, but earlier this year I read The Woman in White, which I was a little nervous about because it's over 600 pages, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I have pretty high expectations of The Moonstone. So, yes, looking forward to this. Not sure when I will start it, but it'll be in the next probably 2-ish weeks. I don't know. So, that is my creepy, largely classic TBR. I know I didn't go too much into what any of these books are about, but I don't have my head fully on my shoulders at the moment, so forgive me. And hopefully in my next video I will have myself a little more together and not still be sick. 2 colds in 3 weeks, seriously. Does this happen to anyone else? Anyways, please like, subscribe, be my friend on social media, ring that notification bell, and I will see you all next time. Bye, friends.